received a charming question in a CCEF a couple weeks ago, and I'll do my best to give an answer that I hope is equally charming, does justice to the questioner. What can I do to get better conversations flowing between myself and my spouse? We are both very quiet people, and sometimes it is difficult for us to open up and share what is on our minds. Now, part of why I chuckle at this one is that so often in marriage counseling, unfortunately, you don't have quiet people. You have very loud, aggressive, hostile, getting fired up kinds of people. And this kind of modest sense of being quiet people who need to just have some ways to help them open their hearts to each other. It is a very real need, and the questioner has captured that well. Here are some thoughts on it. One, I think that just if both of you agree that this is a goal, that's a huge start. To say, we want to talk. Though we are quiet, it doesn't mean there's nothing going on inside. There's not like your flat line on your EEG. There's an inner life that's rich, and usually with quiet people, and I speak as one who has many of those tendencies. And how can we create a situation between us where we agree, let's come out a bit more towards each other? So agreement that this is a goal. That leads obviously to asking God's help. Make it a goal in your prayers, that we are praying with and for each other. Lord, you know our hearts. You see everything that's going on in us. Help us to bring forth so that we might know each other and be known by each other in a little bit more the way that we are fully known by you. This is a spiritual issue. It's loving to know each other, and there can be a loss of love where there's too much quietness. So that's the second point. And then the third point that I hope you would find helpful is have some questions ready that you can even have them posted at your dinner table or at the breakfast table. And let's think of a breakfast question and a dinner question. The breakfast question would be, as you look forward to the day ahead of you, where are you apprehensive? What are things that are concerning you, feel like a burden on you? And let's share that with each other. That then allows a couple to have the opportunity to bear one another's burdens, which is part of God's desire and design in our life. And then a second question for the morning, for the breakfast table, what are you most looking forward to? This allows us to rejoice with those who rejoice. It allows us to enter into the joys, the life purposes, the goals that our husband or wife, as they look at the day, what they're looking at, that they're anticipating. And that allows us to share with each other's gladness and to participate in that part. Dinner table or talk before we go to sleep questions might be these. As you look back on the day past, what was the hardest thing that happened? Where were you distressed? Were you discouraged? Where did you feel overwhelmed? Those are just different ways of asking the same basic question. What were the hard things in this day? And when you share those hard things, tell something not just about what happened, but tell a little bit about what it was like for you. And then that also lets us enter into each other's struggles in a way that we can pray for each other, we can encourage each other. Second question for bedtime or the dinner table is, what was your greatest joy today? And that question is often one I find that when Nan and I ask that question of each other, we almost without fail find out something, and because we each share something that we wouldn't have even thought to share. And you find out these little moments of satisfaction, joy, success, beauty, pleasure. And same sort of thing. We are We are basically relating to each other about our joys and our sorrows, about our burdens and our pleasures. And those are the things that when we know those about each other, we are actually knowing each other and being known by each other, which is the goal of open conversation that this questioner is asking.